Good afternoon, I want to say warm, bright and sunny day. It is Monday the 26th of June. I've got a nice hot cup of tea and a box to continue unboxing. So, the next thing I've got out is this, which is the Crow. Compatible with Everyday Hero system. It's the Crow, a cinematic adventure. So, some tragedies never rest, even after death. Every culture in the world has myths about our souls travelling to the land of the dead and warnings about their return. But what if you could stare into the eyes of one you once loved, or catch a glimpse of them skipping along on a rain-soaked night years after you were put in the grave? One last time. How much is that worth? A global wave of violent crime suddenly lights cities ablaze around the world in the revival of the forgotten tradition of Devil's Night. Caught in the crossfire, you can't rest until revenge is had, or rather, you aren't allowed to rest until the wrongs committed have been set right. With each body put in the graves, another fragmented clue is revealed. Then, without warning, the greatest secret is revealed. You are not alone. Together you must bring justice upon the one who cracked the mystery of death, even if it sets Motor City ablaze one more time. For the path of retribution is wrought with violence and tears. The Crow is a cinematic adventure for use with the Everyday Heroes role-playing game. You need the Everyday Heroes core rulebook to understand and play the contents of the book. Every cinematic adventure contains a wealth of lore about the world of the film, new hero building options, tools and guidance for game masters, and an incredible adventure. Now this is published by Evil Genius Games, and what Evil Genius Games has done is they published the spiritual successor to the D20 Modern role-playing game, which was published by Wizards of the Coast in 2003-2002, which took the rules of the D20 system of Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition into a modern setting. Everyday Heroes has taken that same concept and taken the rules of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition and adapted those to a modern setting, complete with rules for combat with firearms, vehicle chases, hacking, modern environmental damage rules, a whole host of character options, and everything you need to play the core rules. And then it's done something else that is a whole lot more interesting. In a sense, it has got the licenses to a wide range of film intellectual properties and adapted them to role-playing supplements, including Escape from New York and The Crow, Kong, Skull Island, Pacific Rim, Highlander, all licenses generally from sort of like the 80s and 90s, which you kind of go, well, we've never had those adapted for role-playing material before. Now we have, at last. And of course, over the intervening years, what's happened is that referees and game masters have taken the material from the film and other similar sources that have been developed around the films and adapted them to their own game. Now there is this official content. So we open up. So this is The Crow is a story of retribution in Motor City. Last role of, but major role for Brandon Lee, son of Bruce Lee, and based upon the comic by James Barr. So we have all forward and introduction with notes about comfort and safety. Using the fade to black tool, basically because, of course, this is a dark horror game. It does deal with deadly violence, death and loss, and more. So first we examine the world of the Crow, and then we have hero options for heroes in this setting. This includes backgrounds such as abused or counterculture, near-death experience, street rat, suicide survivor. Okay, professions include bartender, kid, chop shop jockey, fortune teller, and more. Classes: reborn hero, butterfly, cat, the crow. So you've expanded upon the original concept as sort of like as the mastiff. Essentially, almost you have these characters which are manifestations of the crow, given a human form, or but able to sort of like shift back and forth, I'm presuming. So yeah, moth, owl, snake. So the retribution you'll be taking will be different depending upon essentially the face and the creature you will become to embody. So you've got lots of options there. Then we have the soothsayer, the smart hero. Not quite so many options in there. Before we have new rules, ritual magic, researching spells. I've got some sample rituals as well. Game master advice, setting the mood, playing spirit allies, prophetic dreams and the like. Before we have some adventure ideas, and then the adventure itself. So the supplement is 112 pages long, and just under half of that is dedicated to rules and content for playing within the setting of the crow. The adventure supports that. Prayers of the Past. You've got a QR code for a soundtrack. And here, synopsis and setting. Timeline, storytelling themes, adventure hooks, all preparing the game master to run the scenario. Discussing the mastermind behind the situation, and then we have intro, session 0, setting the characters up, getting them involved, presumably getting them through to that point where they are ready to take their retribution. And then verse 1, act 1. Primary location, the bar. Nice cartography. You have, that's going to be the villain of the piece, echoing that of the original film. Chorus, act 2. Of course, switches to a graveyard or cemetery location. And, all of this is basically taking place in rundown Detroit. Act 3, bridge. With optional encounters thrown in. Outro, conclusion, and then we have part 6, supporting cast. So these are just general NPCs for a setting similar to the Crow, to whatever the game master wants to set up and run. Then we have the adventure antagonists. We have spirits and creatures in here, so including Cerberus, Hound, Escaped Soul, Gorgon, a modern setting, and then the adventure antagonists, including the Mastermind. Basically with a club trash punk, complete with a MP5. Key characters. These are the characters from the film. So Eric Draven, so on, and then pre-generated heroes. These are ones ready for to play through the scenario itself. So it comes as a, you know, complete package. You know, everything is set up and run the scenario, but actually content to develop the world and run further adventures in it if the game master so desires. So yeah, that's The Crow, a cinematic adventure published by Evil Genius Games. Hope you've enjoyed this unboxing, the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be able to see more unboxings of the Nook Way, or see me out here with a box from which I will containing a book or game, in this case a scenario, which I'll unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing of the Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.